welcome to Hiker Homily number 6 for the week of February 5th, 2018. So we're in the second month of the year. What do you know? We're moving right along. Number 6 for Hiker Homily, and just as a quick intro, just letting you know that I am really wanting to get out on the trail because I have some cool stuff I wanna do. I've got some new gear to try out. If you didn't see the little video I put out there, Pioneer Bear Camp sent me a hydration bladder to give a try, especially on my day hikes. I am itching to try that. I really want to give it a try and do a couple of hikes with it so I can do a gear review on it. Because I want to do multiple hikes to really give it a good shot and give it a good review and all that kind of stuff. A fair review and everything. But I tell you what, as usual, things in the universe are conspiring against me. We have 2 vehicles, and obviously my wife takes one to work. The other vehicle is having some issues, and it's going to the shop today, and so I really can't take it anywhere to get out on the trail. Plus, it's going to be in the shop for hopefully only a day or 2. So once that is settled out, I will get out there and get to the trails and get some hiking in and trying the new hydration bladder by Pioneer Bear Camp, and thank them very much for finding my channel and giving me a shot to look at their equipment. That's really cool. So I'm looking forward to doing that review. But for now, I'm kind of stuck with just the way things are. But I will be getting out there. But yeah, other than the car issues, things are going all right. We're having some good weather. I don't know if we're going to get more. I hope we get more rain, because I'm kind of tired of the California drought thing. We kind of got a break from it last year, but then all of a sudden this year is looking just like drought again. So we will see what's going on. But for now, within the next week or so, the forecast is like weather, not mether, in the mid-70s. So I'm looking forward to that because, man, that's awesome. That's perfect weather, especially if it's going to be like right now. It's a little after 8 o'clock in the morning, and it is nice out there. It's still a little chill in the air, but it's sunny, and I can just tell it's one of those days that even with the chill in the air, once you get out there active and hiking, it's nice. So that's what's going on, you guys. Coming up on the channel, not this week, but next week, just something for you to look forward to. Not only will I hopefully in the next couple of weeks have the Pioneer Bear Camp hydration bladder review, but I already have all the footage done for my review on the Keen Targhee 2s. That's the hiking shoes I'm currently using. I've got a little over 300 miles on those, and so I've got all the review footage shot. I just have to edit it, and so I'll be working on that. I also have a book review, a bunch of footage for that I just have to edit. So look forward to those on the trail. I'll get some more hiking in, and future hikes coming up, I will be covering in a little separate blurb coming up. Thanks a lot for watching, and here we go. Hiker Homily number 6. So for future hikes, they're coming up. I've got, especially since I joined the Central Valley Hiking and Backpacking Club, that helps me get out even more than just the little stuff that I've been doing off and on. There's several others that I still want to get out there on my own and things like that. But as far as the bigger stuff coming up, I know the hiking club has one planned here in February. I don't know where it is for yet, but that will be coming up. And like I did with the Stevens Trail one, I'll be filming stuff and doing a hike report on wherever we go. And I'm pretty sure it'll be a place that I haven't been yet on the channel. The big one I really want to talk about, though, is also through the hiking club. One of their bigger trips for the summer is a hike of the Lost Coast Trail, and I have always wanted to hike that. That's one of the trails I've always just wanted to do. And guess what? We have permits for it. The first week or so in June, I will be heading out to the Lost Coast with the Central Valley Hiking and Backpacking Club, and we will be doing a 3 to 4 day backpacking trip on the Lost Coast Trail. I am so jazzed about that. For those of you who don't know what it is, that is a trail that literally goes, obviously from the name Lost Coast, literally goes on the coast up in the Kings Mountain Range, up near Ukiah, up there, Northern California, right on the coast. It's an amazing trail. There are even parts of the trail that you have to time right with the tides. Otherwise, the trail is under the tides if you don't time it right. And so you get a tide chart and you keep track of that. And really, really amazing hike from what I have seen. All the pictures, and I've seen a few others on YouTube put it out there. Really cool hike. I've always wanted to do it, and I'm going to be doing it beginning of June with the club that I've joined. It's a 25-mile trail, and we're going to do it in about 3 to 4 days. So we're not going to be pushing ourselves too hard every day. Probably, 7 to 8 mile days. And then I think the last day we've got a couple of miles planned. But that last couple of miles is literally walking in sand and stuff. So it's a workout. But looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. And then another one I'm really looking forward to is, I mentioned it before, I want to hike from the Sunol Regional Park to Fremont Peak Regional Park. That's about an 8-mile day hike. I've got a bunch of friends who want to do it with me, so we're going to be doing that, and I'm shooting to put that in March. I finally have some room with the Boy Scouts, kind of figured out what their schedule is for some things, and so I know what weekends I have, so I'm going to be shooting for a date in March, and of course we'll be filming that too. So that's what's coming up for the channel hike-wise. Got an unknowner, I think, going on in February here. We've got the Fremont Peak one that I'll be doing in March for sure. I'll get a bunch of little ones in between. And I'm really looking forward to the June hike there, the Lost Coast Trail. It's going to be awesome. And I'll be bringing y'all along, at least via this channel, just like that. So, hey, that's what we got coming up. Hopefully you're interested in that kind of thing. I don't know why you'd be watching a hiking channel if you're not. And you'll enjoy the footage I get. Thanks a lot for joining me, and on we go to the next topic. So this week's hiking topic, I'm going to be talking about the correlation of animals and food in your camp. Now, when you talk about that kind of thing, mostly the first thing that jumps into most hikers' minds is bears. And yes, that is a big concern. There are a lot of areas in the state of California that require bear canisters, and other places where if they don't require bear canisters, it's probably good that you carry one anyway. But no matter what, you should be hanging your food bags and not storing it in your tents. But then you look at some of the online folks, and I tell you what, the hiker world, it takes all kinds to make a world, and there are all kinds in the hiking community. And you have your natural, oh, nobody's going to tell me what to do. I don't have to do anything with hiking. I'm not going to carry a bear canister. I'll have to. I don't care if the Forest Service says I do. I'm not going to. Whatever. I'm not going to say hike your own hike, because hike your own hike isn't supposed to include ignoring requirements that are set down for certain trails. And you do nothing but hurt other hikers' chances of going into the area, because eventually what's going to happen is if they keep finding people who are breaking the rules, they'll just make it harder to get into that trail. And thank you very much, because you're the a-hole who helped them do that by deciding that you're so cool that you don't have to follow their requirements. Whatever. That's my take on that. But really, it goes beyond bears. There's more than just bears out there. And I got to tell you what, if you've watched any of my videos, you'll know by now, because I've said it several times, I am definitely not an ultralight fanatic, and I'm not an ultralighter at all. I kind of meander on the trail. I enjoy just kind of wandering the trails and having a good time. I don't go for any kind of speed records, and I definitely don't worry about whether my base weight is under 15 or under 10. No, if my base weight is around 20, I'm perfectly happy with that. I grew up backpacking with 70, 80-pound backpacks that were made of metal and all kinds of, before the ultralight thing took hold and before technology. Now, I don't go crazy. I don't purposefully overfill my pack and carry too much, especially because I'm, over 50 now. I'm not that young, 20-something that used to tromp around the mountains with the 80-pound backpack. So I'm happy that things are lighter, but that doesn't mean that I get so fanatical I have to have it ultralight. And that's why often, even when it is not required, I still carry my bear canister, because it is not that heavy, it does not add that much to my pack, and it gives me peace of mind for more than just bears. And that's what you hear a lot about. Well, there's no bears in that area, so I'm not going to carry the bear canister. Yeah, it's called a bear canister, I know, but there are so many other things you have to worry about out there on the trail besides bears that will actually probably do more damage to things. Trash pandas, for one, and for those of you who don't know what that is hiker speak for raccoons. Those guys are extremely intelligent. They have opposable thumbs, and they're just sneaky little guys. And a lot of the times, hanging doesn't stop them from getting into your stuff. I remember a backpack trip way back in the late 80s I went on with some friends, and we actually hung our backpacks. Just the heck with it, we're not going to unpack the pack. We got our tent out of it, set up our camp, had our sleeping system in our tent and things like that, and then we actually hoisted the backpacks up, hung them like they were a bag. They were up there. Raccoons still got in them, trashed our packs. Okay? It's just, there's just a lot of stuff out there. Squirrels, there's all kinds of little critters that if they smell food, they will try to get in. So if you have it in your tent, you're going to have an animal encounter, and it can be a pain in the butt. You know, even a small squirrel can damage your tent and things trying to get in if they smell food. So it's not just about bears, and it's not really about the catastrophe of, oh my gosh, you'll get attacked and things like that. It's just the annoyance that, you know, some of these tents cost, you know, some of the cheaper ones cost $100. The really expensive tents can be upwards of $500-$600, and it will be a real pain in the you know what if a squirrel chews a hole in it because they smell your food that you have in it and things like that. So that's my big advice. I'm not going to rant too hard on this one because it should be fairly common sense. You don't want to carry a bear vault, then don't. Fine. Any kind of a bear canister, unless it's required, I really suggest you do, because like I said before, you're the one who's gonna help create issues for other hikers to get into an area if people keep getting caught breaking the rules. But if it's not required, then don't carry one. I'm not telling you to. I'm just saying there's a lot of people out there, well, I just carried in my tent. I've never had a problem. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's great. I've never had a heart attack before. That doesn't mean that it won't happen to me. Okay? So your anecdote, that's always the thing, is the anecdotes. The personal things. I've done this for this long and never had trouble. Okay, that doesn't mean a damn thing. All that means is you've done that for that long and never had a problem. That doesn't mean that the next time you go out, you won't have that exact problem. Or that some other person who goes out won't have the problem every time they go out. Okay, so your little story doesn't hold any water. Good for you. Yay! You never had that issue, you personally. Okay, that doesn't mean everybody else should just be just like you and they just won't have any problems either, because that's not how it works. Welcome to the real world. People have issues. So you will considerably cut down, despite the fact that this one person over here says they've never had issues. There's still the possibility of issues, and you will completely cut down the possibility of those issues if you do things smartly, and that is, do not put food in your tent. Keep it in a safe place. You either hang it in a bag, put it in a bear canister, some kind of safe thing like that, and that will help mitigate the chance of any kind of animal encounters beyond bears, even, and things like that. And that's really the gist of this. Is just think about other possibilities and how to help do this. It's like, okay, so this guy's crossed the street without looking for traffic 9 times and never had a problem. Great. 10th time he goes out there, he gets hit by a car because he walked right in front of it. Okay, how do you mitigate that? Oh, you take some precautions. It's that simple, and it doesn't cost you that much to take precautions. And the other thing that you have to look at too from a wildlife standpoint is you do not want any of these wild animals, whether they're raccoons, mice, squirrels, bears, any of those kind of animals, you don't want them getting used to and making the connection of, hey, these tent things mean food. Because then you're just going to, again, it's not just you, because that's a lot of time the people make the argument, wow, you know, I'll take my chances. Let me do my thing, hike my own hike, so screw it, I'm going to put food in my tent. Okay, but it's not just you. You might think it's your choice because it's just not just you. But see, these animals are animals, and they start making the connection. Hey, the last 2 tents I got into had food in them. And the person kind of freaked out, but man, I had a little bit to eat and blah, blah, blah after I chewed through the wall and things like that. So they're going to make that connection. And so even people who are doing it right are going to get bothered by the wildlife because they've made this connection because the people before them were being dumb. Just all there is to it. And you can call me controversial if you want to. I don't care. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just being dumb. There's no reason for it. It's not hurting you any. It doesn't really cost you that much. The things aren't that extra heavy. Take precautions. Don't put food in your tent. Hang it properly. Or put it in a canister. Keep it out of your tent. Problem solved for the most part, okay? It's that easy. And the fact that there are people out there who just cross their arms and stamp their foot like a child and I'll do it my way. And my way is I'm going to put it in my tent. I've never had trouble. Whatever. Good for you. You just have a field day with that. But you're going to cause problems for other people. And if you don't care, that just means you're an a-hole. Yeah. There it is. Controversial or not. But you know what? Hey, anecdotal stories aside, because I really don't care. You can go ahead and put them in the comments if you want to. I'll ignore them. But what do you think about that? Give me some feedback at hikingforhealthca.gmail.com or the comments below or on Instagram, Facebook, those different places that you can reach me. If you want to, leave some feedback, leave some comments. What do you think of that? Does it make sense? Is it completely out of line? Is there anything wrong with taking some precautions that don't really cost you anything or hurt you anything? Just a few precautions to keep yourself safe and the wildlife safe, because that's the other thing too, is not only will the wildlife get used to, hey, tents mean maybe food, let's get in there, and that could cause problems with the humans or get them hurt when humans defend themselves, things like that. But eating the people food isn't good for them. It's not made for them, so they really shouldn't be eating it. And that causes problems in itself. So I don't think it's out of line to just ask people to be adults and take those precautions and not keep food in your tent. But I tell you what, the hiking community out there, sometimes there's some folks out there who they do things not because it is actually safer or better. They just do it because nobody's going to tell me what to do. And that's the only reason that they're doing something different than everybody else, is because, I'm going to do it my way. Yeah, good for you. So there we go. That's my my rant for this week on a hiker topic. There it is. Food, animals, and tents. And that about wraps up Hiker Homily. One thing I did want to very briefly say is thank you, Rose. Rose is someone who actually made a comment on YouTube in the comments below. One of those things I mentioned. In Hiker Homily number 2, she put a comment in there. Hiker Homily number 2, the hiking topic was motivations, what gets me out there backpacking and things like that. Why do I enjoy going out hiking and why is that my big thing? And she made a comment to the effect of maybe someday she'll get out there backpacking and do overnights, but for now she just hikes. And you know what? That is awesome. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of people out there that spending overnights out there is just not for them, and that's totally okay. If you're enjoying it, there are so many places. Just in my area here in California, there are so many places to just go for a day and just hike and just see some cool stuff. If backpacking isn't for you, that's okay. You can still really enjoy hiking and do some really cool stuff in the daytime. And I know that pretty much goes for almost anywhere in the country, almost. I mean, if you're in one of the big sprawling metropolis cities, it's a little harder. But I see people all the time on Instagram that live in the Los Angeles area, which is a gigantic sprawling city. But they're still getting out there into the San Bernardino Mountains and things like that and getting some day hikes in and stuff like that. So it can be done, and there's nothing wrong with that, Rose. Thank you so much. You keep on hiking, and if you do someday get into the whole backpacking thing and you spend some overnights, I hope you enjoy it. Have fun with that. But if you just stick with getting on the trails in the daytime and doing day hikes, hey, Nothing wrong with that. Just getting out, period, is cool with me. It just jazzes me. I love getting out there. Like I said in the Hiker Homily number 2, it just really energizes me to get out there. And that is whether or not I'm backpacking or not. I go out for 2-3 nights. I'm having a great time. I go out for a couple of hours in the foothills and do some hiking. Still having a great time. I'm jazzed. It's a lot of fun. It's just cool stuff. So enjoy it. You know, that's really what Hike Your Own Hike is all about right there. If you're enjoying it, you're doing it safely and all that kind of good stuff, whether it's a one-day hike or a 5-night backpack trip or a months-long through hike. If you're enjoying it, that's the key right there. Awesome. So thanks, Rose, for commenting. Any other comments anybody wants to make on any of the past Hiker Homilies or the present one here that I'm putting together? Always welcome. Thanks a lot for the feedback. And as always, thanks for watching. I always appreciate it. My subscribership is slowly but surely growing. I'm like at around 30 all of a sudden. I'm like, wow, that's awesome. So thanks a lot, everybody who is joining me. And like I say, YouTube is not a moneymaker for me. I'm not trying to get it to, especially with their new rules. In order to monetize now, you have to have this many subscribers instead of this many, and this many hours viewed, and 12 months, and blah, 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 blah. It's going to be a long time if I ever get to monetize this channel, and that's okay. If I'm still talking to 30 people, and those 30 people are happy with what I'm putting out, there it is. That's cool. So thanks a lot, everybody. Appreciate it for everybody who watches on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Thanks very much, and I'll see you next week.